Before we begin, viewer discretion is advised. This content is for entertainment. What happens when a celebrity draws the line and a late-night host crosses it? The show opens as usual, a bright grin, a tight monologue. Applause rolling in waves until it almost feels scripted. Laughter rises at cue, tidy and familiar, like a laugh track, playing in real time. Cameras hum. Floor lights burn white-hot. The air tastes faintly metallic from the rigging and sweet from studio smoke that never quite leaves. The band hits its sting. The host tosses punchlines like darts, each landing where expected. Everything about this room screams routine perfection. Audience members lean forward, phones half hidden, ready to capture a moment to brag about tomorrow. They don't know it yet, but tomorrow will chase them instead. The temperature sits comfortably then, without warning. It nudges higher. It's nothing anyone can point to, just a shift in the air, a twitch at the corner of a smile, a gleam in the host's eyes that reads less like warmth and more like calculation. Applause keeps rolling, but underneath, something goes still almost reverent. Almost afrad. As the monologue winds down, a stage manager gives a signal. Cameras glide. The steady red tally light stares like an unblinking witness. The whisper of the jib arm passes overhead. The audience claps harder, because that's the cue. No one knows they're about to witness live TV history. The band swells again. A name hits the room like fireworks. Michael B. Jordan. He steps into the lights with effortless stride, $1 million smile, a practiced wave that still reads sincere. He crosses to the chair, shakes hands, and settles in. The crowd adores him. The lens loves him. Then the camera catches Ita flicker across the host's face. Friendly on the surface, sharp beneath a hairline fracture in the night's glittering mask. Who's like that the calm begins to crack. Hours earlier, before the lights and laughter, the real show is in a hallway that smells like fresh paint and hot cables. Contracts slide across a table. Pages whisper. A publicist's pen taps a nervous metronome. Voices drop to careful volume, reserved for high stakes. Michael B. Jordan's team is clear. Off-limit topics. No breakup questions. No digs at private relationships. He's here to talk about the work. A new project he's directing. Art that doesn't need gossip to stand upright. The message is calm. Professional, firm boundaries. Established in plain English. On the production side, ideas float like confetti. Segment beats, audience pre-in cards, marked clean. We'll stick to the film. A producer says almost soothing, almost swearing. Still behind those promises, a low-grid buzz. Someone mutters about the clip. The moment. The hook, the kind of exchange that trends before credits roll. In the green room, the TV is tuned to the stage. Sound off. MJ sits forward. Suit cut with surgical precision. Posture relaxed. Focused razor sharp. He reviews talking points, then sets them aside. He doesn't need cue cards to speak from the heart. The room is quiet, holding its breath. A glass sweats on the table, leaving a circular brand on a cocktail napkin. A stylie smooths a collar. The publicist checks her phone. Then her eyes in the mirror. Then her phone again. Don't the whole crew members move in, practiced choreography. Mic checks. Cameras test. A stagehand laughs, a little too loud at a joke. No one else hears. In the control room, monitors glow in rows, each a promise of angles and edits. A producer leans toward another and whispers. He wants a moment tonight. The other doesn't ask who. Tabot, Noah, near the curtain. Jimmy Kimmel glances at cue cards, thumb running along the edge. The planned questions sit in neat black type. He reads them, doesn't smile. Then he looks up toward the stage, toward the camera that will soon make everything he says sound like a joke. A curve touches the corner of his mouth, not warm, knowing he's going off script tonight. Someone murmurs behind the curtain. No alarm sound, no red lights flash, just the subtle gathering of a storm. On one side, a guest prepared to discuss craft and vision. On the other, a host rumored to want a spark big enough to set the internet on fire. Between them, a thin, invisible line. Backstage, the countdown begins. 10, 9, 8. The publicist meets MJ's eyes and nod. Boundaries are set. 7, 6, 5. The cue cards lift, smirk lingering. 4, 3, 2. The curtain parts. The storm steps into the light. Applause rises like thunder as Michael B. Jordan walks through the curtain. He's every bit the movie star. The crowd came to see sharp suit, confident stride, smile wide enough to light the back row. He waves once, twice, then takes his seat across from Jimmy Kimmel, who greets him with that trademark grin. "Good to see you, man," Kimmel says, voice smooth. "Friendly to friendly." "Good to be here," Jordan replies, settling back. Microphone clipped, posture easy. On the surface, everything gleams charisma. Meeting charisma. Charm. Feeding charm. The studio hums with applause, laughter, energy. For a moment, it feels like the perfect late-night segment. Then Kimmel drops it. "You look great for someone who's had a tough few months." The audience laughs, half genuine, half confused. The sound stutters, fading fast. The air changes, subtle, like the drop in pressure before a storm. Jordan's smile falters, barely perceptible, but the cameras see everything. "Appreciate that," sighs heavenly. "I'm excited to be here and talk about the film." "We'll get there," Kimmel replies, leaning back, eyes glinting like he knows something the rest of the world doesn't. The words hang between them. "We'll get there." On paper, it's casual, but the tone carries a promise, even a warning. Jordan keeps his body language open, hands resting on his knees, yet the tension is already tightened. Kimmel crosses one leg over the other, studying his guest as though testing for cracks. The host continues, easy smile returning. "Tell me, how's life been lately? You've had quite a year." Jordan keeps it light, busy, focused, shifting smoothly into film. Talk the story, the message, the cast. The crowd applauds politely, but Kimmel doesn't follow the thread. He lets the answer land, then lets silence stretch too long, just enough to be uncomfortable. The sparkle of late-night banter dulls. Beneath it, the studio feels smaller, hotter. A camera operator wipes his forehead. Jordan's smile holds steady, but his eyes say what his mouth does not. "Don't do this." Across from him, Kimmel leans back further, head tilting, grin sharpening. His fingers tapped lightly on his cards, not the rhythm of a host keeping pace, but of a man counting moves in advance. The boundary is clear, drawn, and in the next breath, it's crossed. "You know," Kimmel says, "I've been reading some interesting stories lately. Something about your adventures in the dating world." Laughter ripples uncertain, fading before it reaches the back row. The room's temperature seems to spike 10 degrees. Band members exchange quick glances, unsure if they should play a cue. No one moves. Jordan chuckles once, short and tight. "I think the tabloids do enough storytelling on their own," he says, edge beneath his calm, unmistakable dot. In the control room, chaos erupts. Producers wave arms, pointing to the teleprompter. One mouths, "Change the subject." Another hisses into a headset. Cut to camera 3. "Stay wide." The director's voice cracks through comes. "We can't go to commercial yet." But on stage, there are only 2 men, and one of them smells blood. Must be nice. Kimmel presses. To have so many options when you're Michael B. Jordan, right? The audience goes still. The host's grin doesn't falter. If anything, it widens. The predators smile. Jordan's publicist watches from the green room, hand frozen halfway to her phone. Too late to intervene. "Too late to fix, Jimmy," Jordan says at last. Tone suddenly colder. It's not loud, but it cuts clean through the room's noise. "We agreed to talk about the film. That's what your producers and I discussed." "Oh, come on, Michael." "Oh," Kimmel fires back, still pretending it's all good fun. "You can't come on a talk show and not talk. People want to know the real you." The words "real" you drip like accusation. Jordan doesn't move, doesn't blink, only his jaw tightens, a single muscle ticking along his cheek. The audience shifts uncomfortably. A few clap, unsure if they should. The band stays silent. This isn't playful anymore. This isn't content. This is a setup, and Michael B. Jordan knows it. He leans forward slightly, every inch of his movie star composure coiling into something harder, colder. His voice drops just enough for the microphones to catch. "Then, let's make sure, Jimmy," he says evenly, "that what we're talking about is real. The duel has begun." The temperature under the studio lights has shifted from warm to suffocating. What started as polite banter has turned into something else entirely, a duel wrapped in smiles. Jordan's composure sharpens into defiance. His voice, low but resonant, cuts through the thick air. "You know what, Jimmy? This feels a lot less like a talk show and a lot more like tabloid trash disguised as entertainment." The audience gasps, small at first, then like a ripple across still water. Some laugh nervously, thinking maybe it's a bit, but the look on Jordan's face tells him it isn't. Kimmel blinks, taken aback for a fraction before his grin returns. Whiter now, almost feral. "Come on, Michael," he says, tone dripping with condescension. "Everyone in Hollywood knows how the game works. You play nice. We all win. You build your image. We build the story. That's the trade." Jordan leans back, eyes locked on him. "That's not a game," he says. "That's exploitation." The camera zooms in on Jordan's face. Kimmel's micro-expressions flicker like lightning strikes. His smirk falters into something meaner. Jordan's hands curl slowly into fists on the armrests. Sweat gathers at Kimmel's temple. The tension hums, drowning out the band, the murmurs, even the cameras. In the control room, the director whispers, "Stay close on the eyes. Take no. Tay recapturing something historic, the unraveling of a late-night illusion in real time." Kimmel leans forward, elbows on his desk, voice suddenly colder. "I'm just asking questions, Michael. Isn't that what you actors want? A little authenticity." Jordan exhales once through his nose. Steady, deliberate. "There's a difference between authenticity and ambush. Jimmy, you should know that." The audience shifts uneasily again. They're no longer watching a performance. They're witnessing a power struggle. The host's charm, once effortless, now feels rehearsed. The guest's restraint, once polite, now feels heroic. And then, in a moment too small for sound, the balance tips. The moral gravity of the room changes. The golden boy isn't the one under fire anymore. He's the one standing for something real. Kimmel laughs short and sharp, the sound of someone losing control while pretending to lead. Jordan doesn't laugh. Stands. The chair slides back, wheels screeching against the stage floor. The audience gasps again. The boundary of civility is shattered. Kimmel watches him rise, eyes narrowing. The grin remains, but panic flickers beneath it. He's gone too far, but pride won't let him stop. "You know," he says slowly, voice soft but poisonous, "it's funny you talk about honesty. Maybe it's time we had a real conversation about the company you keep. Some very young company, if you know what I mean." The words hang in the air like a live wire. For a second, nobody breathes. The only sound is the faint shift of the overhead camera, the squeak of a sneaker somewhere in the back row, the quiet hum of electricity in the lights. Michael B. Jordan freezes for a heartbeat, then turns his head toward Kimmel with the stillness of someone calculating every consequence. The calm before impact. "Are you seriously implying what I think you're implying?" His voice is barely above a whisper, but it carries across the studio like thunder. "I'm not implying anything," Kimmel says, his smirk twitching. "Just saying, people talk." In the control Control room, panic. Cut to commercial. A producer shouts. Legal. Are you hearing this? Someone else barks into a headset. We can't. Cut. It's live. Jordan's expression doesn't break, but his hands tremble slightly on the desk. The camera catches at the human moment beneath the armor. His breathing sharpens. The silence grows unbearable. Then, with terrifying clarity, he speaks. You sick piece of garbage. The words hit like a physical blow. The audience recoils. Kimmel blinks, mouth opening, but no sound comes out. Jordan steps closer. Voice steady now, dangerous in its precision. You just accused me of something unthinkable on national television without a shred of proof. Do you have any idea what you've just done? Kimmel stammers. I didn't. I never said, don't backtrack. Nag. Jordan cuts in, voice rising, raw and real. You went there. You crossed a line no decent person crosses. You don't get to hide behind your fake smile and call it journalism. In the audience, a woman covers her mouth. A man whispers, oh my God. Producers! Shout. Lawyers are on headsets. Security edges closer to the stage. The entire studio feels like it's about to combust. Kimmel tries to regain footing, laughing weakly. Michael, calm down. Maybe this is a misunderstanding. Jordan's laugh is cold, joyless. A misunderstanding? You just assassinated my character on live TV because you thought it'd make good ratings. He steps closer, voice cutting through the static. You wanted a viral moment, Jimmy? Congratulations, you just got one. The words echo against the studio walls, bouncing off the stunned silence of hundreds of witnesses and millions more at home. Kimmel finally looks shaken, grin gone, eyes searching for a way out. But there isn't one. Michael B. Jordan isn't giving him an exit. He's giving him accountability. Kimmel's words stumble out, tripping over each other. Michael, that's not what I meant. You're overreacting. This is all just a misunderstanding. Jordan's laugh cuts through the air, sharp, bitter, humorless. A misunderstanding. His eyes flash. No, Jimmy. That was character assassination. You don't get to smear someone's name and then hide behind a joke when it blows up in your face. The audience murmurs, voices rising in nervous hums. Security moves closer to the edge of the stage, unsure whether to intervene or just stand by and watch history implode. The band stays silent. Every note that might have softened the moment is gone. Kimmel's face drains of color. He looks toward the control booth like a drowning man searching for a lifeline. Maybe we should take a commercial break. Hey, mutters, half to himself, half to the producer in his earpiece. Jordan doesn't let him finish. No commercial break, he says firmly, voice steady and commanding. You wanted to have this conversation on live television? Then let's finish it. On live television. The authority in his tone freezes everyone. Even the security guards stop moving. Jordan is no longer the cornered guest, trying to defend himself. He's something else, now centered, unshakable. Kimmel swallows hard, fidgeting with his cue cards. His usual swagger evaporates. The power dynamic has completely inverted. The host, the man who built a career out of controlling the room, has lost it entirely. Jordan takes a measured breath, gaze locked on him. You know what the real problem is, Jimmy? You've forgotten that the people sitting here, he gestures to the audience, aren't props. They can tell the difference between truth and manipulation. Salance. God. Every eye in the room is on him. He's no longer playing defense. He's rewriting the rules in real time. And as Kimmel tries to form a reply, Jordan does something no one expects. He turns away from the desk, away from the man who attacked him, and faces the camera instead. The shift is electric. The hunter has become the judge, the victim, the voice of reckoning. For the first time all night, Jimmy Kimmel stays silent. Jordan stares straight into the lens, into millions of living rooms frozen in disbelief. His voice is calm, clear, devastatingly real. Ladies and gentlemen, he begins. This is what happens behind the scenes in Hollywood. The words hit like a bell. The audience doesn't breathe. The camera light flares against his skin, haloing him in a white-hot glow that makes every word feel sacred and final. This industry, this machine, feeds on people. It builds you up, calls you family, then tears you down for sport. They call it entertainment. But really it takes exploitation. You come here to share your work, your craft, and instead you become content fodder for someone's ratings war. Kimmel shifts behind the desk, mouth half. Michael Jordan raises a single hand. The gesture is enough to silence him completely. Authority radiates from him like heat. You said you wanted authenticity, Jimmy? Here it is. Authenticity is me telling the truth when it's inconvenient. Authenticity is calling out a system that lets this kind of ambush happen and calls it good television. A murmur sweeps through the crowd, not discomfort this time, but recognition. They feel, eat the truth in it. Jordan continues, voice steady. His tone is no longer angry, but heartbreakingly resolute. Every actor, every artist who sits in these chairs comes here to connect with youth audience. They want to share something meaningful. But this, he gestures across the stage. This isn't connection. This is betrayal. This is why people stop trusting us. Why good artists walk away. The control room holds its breath. No one dares cut the feed. Every camera remains trained on him, capturing a moment that will outlast the credits. I came here tonight to talk about a film that means something to me. Says. But what just happened means more, because it proves that even when you try to do things the right way, someone will still twist it for clicks. His eyes sweep the audience. You deserve better than that. We, although. The words sink deep. Several audience members nod unconsciously. A few begin to clap before stopping themselves, as if applause might cheapen what they were witnessing. Jordan lowers his hand, exhales slowly. The fury that carried him this far cools into clarity. He turns once more to the main camera, expression unshakably calm. And in that moment, every person in the studio and every viewer at home knows it. The conversation has changed. The power has shifted. Michael B. Jordan is no longer defending himself. He is defending everyone. The studio is silent. No band, no laughter, no cue cards left to save the night. Just two men, one broken behind his desk, the other standing tall under blinding white lights. Jordan exhales slowly, a sound of finality. He reaches for his microphone, unclipping it with calm, deliberate precision. The gesture is not dramatic, it is surgical, controlled, inevitable. Good night, America, he says, voice steady. Eyes locked on the camera. You deserve better than this. He places the mic on Kimmel's desk. Not drops it. Places it. The small, hard thud echoes like a gavel slamming down. Judgment delivered. For a second, the audience is frozen in silence, thick, reverent, electric. Then one pair of hands starts to clap. Another joins, and another, until the applause spreads. Timid at first, then rising. Swelling until it fills every corner of the studio. Kimmel sits frozen, his usual smirk gone, face pale under the lights. His cue cards tremble in his hand. The camera lingers, showing the world a man who has just lost control of his own stage. Jordan straightens his jacket, nods once to the audience, and walks off the set. Each step sounds heavier than the last. No band music plays him out. No commercial jingle fades in. The moment stands naked, raw, unforgettable as he disappears through the curtain. The applause becomes a roar. Jimmy Kimmel, America's late-night king, sits in silence amid the noise. Cut. Too black. The Empire. Trembles. By the time the network cuts to commercial, the internet has already ignited. Within minutes, clips flood social media. Grainy recordings, live tweets, reaction threads, hashtags explode worldwide. Michael B. Jordan and hashtag Kimmel expose dominate trends. Living rooms and group chats replay the moment over and over. The mic drop, the final line. Kimmel's stunned expression. Comment sections explode. He didn't lose his temper. He held the truth. That was the realest thing I've ever seen on live TV. Jimmy Kimmel just ended his own career at the network headquarters. Charles reigns. Sponsors call before the show even finishes airing. By morning, 2 major advertisers have pulled contracts. PR teams draft statements, scrap them, start again. Executives huddle in glass conference rooms with blinds closed, arguing damage control. Across the city, Kimmel's publicists spin. It was taken out of context. Jimmy was joking. Michael misunderstood. No one buys Italiano. The footage is everywhere. Unedited, undeniable. News outlets run split-screen coverage. Jordan's scum defiance on one side. Kimmel shrinking behind his desk on the other. Late-night colleagues stay quiet. Off the record, one producer mutters what everyone is thinking. Late-night TV just changed forever. In contrast, Jordan's team says nothing. No statement. No tweet. No interview, just silence. The kind that speaks louder than any press release. By dawn, every entertainment outlet carries the same narrative. Michael B. Jordan stood his ground. Jimmy Kimmel crossed a line. Critics call it the night dignity fought back. Journalists dissect it frame by frame. Social media turns the clip into legend. Artists and actors begin sharing stories of ambush interviews, of manipulation masquerading as comedy. In the collective reckoning, the truth settles in. The curtain has been pulled back on the machine. For Kimmel, the fallout is swift and merciless. Sponsors retreat. Ratings collapse. His carefully built persona, the lovable provocateur, crumbles under the weight of one reckless moment. For Jordan, it's the opposite. His calm becomes iconic. The mic drop, a symbol of integrity. A moment that redefines strength under fire. Somewhere between outrage and admiration, quiet understanding spreads. That night, something broke in Hollywood, but something honest was born. The machine cracked, the mask slipped, and the world saw who truly stood in the light. By morning, 2 images dominate every screen in America. 1, Jimmy Kimmel's empty desk.